Gymnastics moms, if your gymnast is struggling to believe in herself like you believe in her, struggling with self-doubt, struggling with negative thinking, struggling to get the skills that she wants to stand out this next season, or the skills that she needs to get to the next level, this video is for you. My name is Stacey Roman. I'm one of the co-founders of Gymnastics Mindset Academy, and you are in Mindset for Moms. Here we help moms develop happy, healthy gymnasts who know how to win. This whole month, we're going to be working on one of our favorite topics, which is how to actually think positively. The reason that we call it that is because so many gymnasts, when they start working on mindset, they really just focus on trying to think positively. Because when you think positively, you feel positive, empowering emotions like confidence and capable and determined, and they want to feel those things. And so when they feel those things, then they do their best gymnastics. That's a no-brainer. That's really easy. And so they're like, well, I just need to think positively. We'll say like thought swap, swap the negative for a positive, flip the switch. But the reality is it doesn't work that way. That's the same thing as trying to have them, first time learning a new skill, go straight up to the high beam. You think negatively, or you have all of these negative thoughts because you have neural pathways in your brain. And a neural pathway is literally the path that has been etched for a thought process to happen in your brain. And the more often that you've thought that, the deeper it is. And to think a new, different thought, you actually have to create an entirely new neural pathway, an entirely new road. And then you have to train your brain to use the new road instead of the old one. Well, which road do you think it wants to use? That nice, well-lit freeway that's 4 lanes and super fast and it's been using forever and ever? Or this brand new road through the jungle that's not even graveled yet? Of course it wants to use the old one. And so to think a new positive thought, you actually have to practice and create repetitions just the exact same way that you do when you get a new skill. But I want to back up for a minute and talk about why thinking positively is important in the first place. So we tend to think that something outside of us is making us feel and do the things that we're doing. I mean, we get taught this from when we're very little. Did little Timmy hurt your feelings? Did he make you mad? Did mama make you sad? We teach kids from a very young age, we're taught from a very young age that the reason that we're feeling something and the reason then that we do something because of that feeling is because of what happened to us or what was said to us. So I want to take it to a completely neutral topic. Let's talk about skydiving. Okay, so when I say skydiving, immediately what's the feeling that you have? If I'm like, hey guys, we're loading up, we're going together, we're going skydiving right now. I actually saw a reel that was someone, and she's on the floor, and she was like, my very worst fear coming true. And she looks up at the TV and it says, we're taking you skydiving today. Are you that? Are you on the floor? Or are you that would be the most fun thing. I'm so excited, exhilarated. I think skydiving sounds so peaceful because when I went skydiving and it was just blue sky forever, it was calm, it was silent, it was so peaceful. Now, if things that happen to us, things that are said to us are what make us feel something and do something, we would all feel and do the exact same way. But when I say skydiving or talk about going skydiving, we have tons of different feelings about it and even different things that people do. Some people would be like, I am absolutely not going. Other people would be like, I'm the first one in the plane. We would all take different actions, and those actions come from our feelings, but those feelings don't come from skydiving. They come from our thoughts about skydiving. Now, those thoughts can come from past experiences. Those thoughts can come from things that have been told to us. Those thoughts can come from our natural wiring of fear and protectiveness. Come from lots of different places, but at the end of the day, it's the thought that causes us to feel something. And so when your gymnast is focused on negative thoughts that cause her to feel a negative emotion, then she takes action from that negative emotion and gets results from those actions. And so the reason it's important to think the positive thoughts is that's what gives you the results that you want. It's what gives you those positive actions being fueled from a positive emotion. And so it's a no-brainer. It makes a lot of sense why we need to think positively. The problem is in the execution of it. Most of the time we're taught you just try to just stop thinking negative. You've got this. Think you've got this. Believe in yourself. Well, you know how easy that is. You think about for your own life, things where you felt negative or doubtful about, things that you felt like you don't believe that you can do, and things that you're afraid of. Like maybe you're afraid of skydiving, and I'm like, just think positive about it. Like, don't think about any of the negative things that could happen. Like, it doesn't work, right? So we have a whole, it's a process that we teach gymnasts that's just exactly the same as going from a progression, drilling a new piece of a skill, and then progressing a little bit at a time towards being able to do the skill where they want to do. So it's like learning a new, series, maybe like a back handspring series, back handspring flick series, or step out series, something like that on the beam. Like first you drill it, you do lots of little drills, then you put those drills together into the skill on the floor, then you put that on a laser beam, then you put that on a low beam with panel mats, then you start building the panel mats down, and then you go up a beam, and then two beam, up a medium sized beam, and then all the way to the top. And then you start putting it with dance moves before and after, and then you put it in a routine. And then finally at the end, you have the whole thing. But it's a long process to get there with a lot of repetitions in a lot of different stages. And so we've taken the art of thinking positively and turned it into something very similar. And we call it the thought model. So over this month, I'm going to be teaching you the thought model. But I wanted to start out with why it's so important to think positively and why it's so difficult. Now, we have a free guide on this topic. We have a free parent training on this topic. So if you want to go deeper, check out the show notes so that you can go deeper into these things. But I just really want to encourage you that it is something that can be learned. Learning how to think positively is literally a skill that has to be learned, and then you can apply it again and again and again to anything that you're struggling with negative thinking in. And the first step is just understanding that it's a thought and not a fact, and that it's the thought that's creating the results that you're seeing, and that it's optional, and you can change it to something new if you want. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you next week where we get started in learning the thought ladder.